Hey everybody, it is Wednesday. What is happening? Thank you guys for coming for the Boss Up and List live show. It is a special show today. We are not even 1 week out from eBay Open, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Hopefully some of you guys are getting to come. But today is Wednesday, so that means it's Boss Up and List Day, which is the all-day virtual listing party that we do in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, make sure that you join. The link is down below in the description of this video. And hopefully all you guys are listening like crazy today, but taking a little break to hang out with us because we have an awesome show today. We are going to be telling you, this is basically, this is kind of exclusive, right? Brooks, am I telling it right? We're the first to know about this?
You are first one.
All right, awesome. So we've got Brooks and Michaela both
Hashtag top secret.
Hashtag top secret. So Brooks is a member of our boss group. Michaela, I don't know, are you in our boss group too?
Yep, I am.
Yes. All right, so Brooks and Michaela are both in our Boss Facebook group, and they've been working on this project, and some of the other Boss Facebook group members have been helping out with it, beta testing, and so they are here today to finally unveil the hashtag top secret project that we've all been working on. It's super cool. But first, I'm actually going to turn it over to Teresa because Teresa's kind of, she's our numbers geek. She's the one who's crazy about reports and numbers and data. It makes her all giddy in the head. And so I'm going to have her kind of talk about like how this all started because Brooks, I believe, Teresa was the first person that Brooks contacted to talk about this project. And of course, she got crazy about it. So Teresa, tell us what happened. What's going on?
Okay, so I am just scrolling through the Boss Facebook group one day, and I see a screenshot of some numbers and bar graphs, and I'm just like Katie said, get all giddy. And I don't even remember what your what the message was, but it was cryptic enough that Brooks had posted this picture, the screenshot, and the message was cryptic enough that it made me comment, and I think I said something like, "I'm intrigued. Tell me more." And so he messaged me and he kind of filled me in. And, before within a day, I think I had the app. Well, no, we set up a demo call a couple of days later and I was on the phone with him for like 3 hours. I was like totally impressed. This is right up my alley. I love apps that will automate, streamline processes, make things faster. If there's something that takes 10 clicks and I can get it down to 7, I'm all about that. I am a total click snob. And so I started talking to them and I started working with them and, messaging them saying, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? And I can't even tell you how impressed I was that within 24 hours, this was done. And 2 days later, this was done. And next it was like, okay, that'll be included in the next upgrade on Friday. And I'm like blowing my mind, and then we started getting more people involved and all that other stuff. So so it's kind of grown from there. I don't have any idea how many we have in the beta group now, but some awesome people that are in there. And so the product hashtag is top secret is Datamiine. And so with that, I will turn it over to Brooks and Michaela, and they can tell us all about this software program, Datamiine, and how it came to be and what's it all about and why I'm so excited about it.
Now, Brooks, you guys are eBay sellers #1, and so You got everybody out there is probably wondering like, what in the heck are we talking about? But bottom line, Brooks and Michaela are eBay sellers, and so why don't you tell us, start out just telling us what you do on eBay, how long you've been doing it, what you're all about.
Yep. So 2014, we started selling on eBay. We are in the IT space, so we sell IT goods from computers, laptops, hard drives, things of that nature. And I quickly realized, or we did as a team, an eBay seller, eBay doesn't let you scale it that very easily. So I got with the developer and we started working on automating a lot of the process behind the scenes. So about 1.5 years ago, we had this tool that we developed for ourselves. So I'm like, how cool would this be for we can open this up to all the sellers out there? So 1.5 years ago, we met, we said, okay, we're going to make this now scalable for people who sell any kind of item from IT goods down to clothing. So that's when we started working on the standalone product. And then a few months ago, I did put a screenshot out there on the Boss Facebook group. And I knew that eBay doesn't allow you to get certain data points. And I was like, people were talking about how the first half of the year was really slow and things like that. So the screenshot I put out there was data that would take you hours to get from eBay. It was like your repeat customer base, year-to-date customer count. And that's, I think, what probably intrigued Teresa very quickly. She's just saying, how are you getting this information in real time? So now we're at a point to where we built this for ourselves, and that's kind of why I'm turning this into a tool that's built by the sellers. And I've never heard of a software product out there that's saying, hey, eBay seller, what do you always want? And every year when eBay comes out with their new updates, you know, it seems like they're really great sometimes for the buyers, but the sellers, we kind of get really scared about that. So this is a tool that's nothing but about the seller out there, and I want as many people to be using it and giving us feedback so we can make it better and better.
Yeah, and I think what's really cool, like Teresa mentioned this, but what's awesome is how quickly you guys react to input. And so what happened is, like Teresa said, you know, we got a bunch of other boss group members that were kind of interested in what we were talking about into this beta group. And you normally, when you're working, like, let's say even just working like with eBay, whenever changes come around, it's like, you know, people might give input and then it takes a year before something comes out because you're dealing with like a big corporation. And here we're dealing with like a very small team. And so it's like literally, you know, Teresa would make a suggestion, or I would make a suggestion, or somebody else would make a suggestion. And like the following Friday would be like the new release. And suddenly here's this whole new feature for us to be able to use to help us manage our stores. Like, it's crazy how fast you guys have managed to add features and change things around. And we're like, well, I kind of wish that, you know, I had this little thing that would, you know, get this report, have this control on my store. And like, it was just like immediately it would happen. So Brooks, you're going to go ahead and show us kind of a demonstration of what Datamiine looks like right now, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and just so you know, Michaela and I, we're husband and wife, and we take care of the sales and marketing piece. If you've seen Woo Chung Park on the Facebook group, him and his wife are the developers. So we're very tight-knit, small, two families trying to bring this thing up from the ground. So just so that's kind of like the makeup of the company there.
Real quick, how did you find them? Like, I don't even know how that works. Like, how do you find somebody? You decide like you want this tool, and then you have to find developers. Like, how'd you do that?
Oh, well, yeah, look. Yeah, we come from a software background. So I'm more on the business analytics side of that, and he was more of the software developer for it. So then, you know, that's kind of where we partnered up at that point.
Very cool.
So let me go ahead and share my screen right now. Just kind of give a quick demo of a few features.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody's going to be really excited to see how it goes. And people, by the by the end of today's show, there is a link down below for you to request to join the beta of this project. And I'm telling you, you totally should. And if you've ever like been working on your eBay store and had any thoughts of like features that you would like or you wish that you could get through eBay, you definitely want to be a part of this beta group, because you can give input and hopefully get exactly what you want to be able to run your store.
Yep. So can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. So here's one feature here, and we call it eBay inventory. So we have found eBay doesn't do the best of job giving you insights into how much you have in inventory. And what we like to use the word holding cost. So here's just a nice snapshot of our current eBay inventory out there. And we're sitting on over 500 listings and $154,000 in inventory. And what we want to know, I don't like to promote things that sell all the time, but I want to put things on promotions that don't move very often. So what the days means here is how long has it been since that product sold? So I have $13,000 in inventory that hasn't moved in a half a year. To me as a business owner, that's a big problem. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I either delist and relist that automatically, or do I need to put that on promoted listings? So one very easy way of doing that, you can export your inventory to CSV right here. Then this right here will pull up. You can sort it by the last time something sold. So this item ID hasn't sold in 903 days. Copy and paste the item IDs that you want. Go into eBay here. And this is right here would be actual marketing promotion. Choose what kind of promo you want to run. Select items here, and then copy and paste. So that is what I call a targeted promotion of things that haven't sold. I think from my perspective, eBay wants you to promote everything, just makes more sense for them. But as a business owner, I want to promote things that aren't moving as often. So
yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. You can do the same thing in promoted listings as well when you create a new campaign there. And then you select listings in bulk. I actually learned this from Teresa. And then you can upload your own SKUs here, and you just copy and paste those SKUs into the format that they want into an Excel file. And then that way you have a targeted promoted listing campaign, all things that have not sold in a long period of time. Another one feature that we're going around that is, imagine you as the business owner saying, I want to automatically delist and relist things that haven't sold within 90 days or greater. So you can program the tool to say, I'll go ahead and automatically do that. And then that way you just sit it and forget about it, and the software automatically delists and relists. I see people all the time on the Facebook groups out there saying, I put a goal that I have to relist 50 things today. Well, that's manual. And as a business owner, you're trying to manage, 3,000 items, and you're a one-person shop. That would take forever. So we're just trying to make that in an automated fashion. That feature is not ready yet. I think we need to discuss that after eBay Open. But I think that would really help a lot of users out there.
Very cool.
Yep. Another thing here, we have average inventory days. So you ask the seller, how long does it take you to sell a product? So we're just tracking it. We're going to start tracking this quite often. So what this means is it takes 105 days for us to sell any item. So 3-month life cycle there. And then the average inventory per item, imagine that's kind of like your average sales price. Then there's a lot of features to where you can search your inventory. You can search it by, if you have multiple eBay accounts, you can shop either one. Custom label, you can drill down to that. And the title. And one neat thing, I don't know if you ever seen in eBay, well, when you're trying to search something into eBay and it has different store categories, eBay is very finicky about, you have to put like the whole title in there. This is very simple to where you can just type in a product and then put a comma and then type another product in there and put another comma, and it will just go ahead and pull in all those SKUs associated with it very quickly. Right there.
And it uses all of the search fields, not just one, which is helpful because eBay only has the one.
The one
search field. Very cool.
Yep. And then we give you many ways to multi-dimension search, like you want to sort by title, you want to sort by custom label, you want to sort by watch count. So eBay kind of gives you one way of filtering right now, and we're giving you a lot here. So it becomes very helpful. So that's the main features there with eBay inventory page.
So let me interrupt for a second and just tell everybody that this is the whole inventory thing. This has been my biggest thing since eBay We Are 20, is like, we don't have a way, eBay doesn't give us a way to manage our inventory yet. If we sell an item that we don't have, or it's out of stock, or we can't locate, then we get dinged for it. So I've played with this piece of this a lot in the last 3 weeks or so, and I love it. We've tweaked it a little bit, and I've changed some things on my listings. As most of you know, I have inventory 3 hours north in Williams and in Gilbert, and in all my custom field, I had to go in and make sure that everything had it started with a W dash or a G dash, depending on location. And now with this tool, I can easily sort it by the custom field and then drill down to the various things. So now when I go to Williams at the beginning of August, I'm going to have a printout of all my inventory and be able to easily do a physical inventory, which has not been, you'd think it's easy, but I've tried and it just doesn't work very well. So I'm super, super excited about this screen here and the ability and the changes that have been made just in 3 weeks to accommodate sellers. So yeah. I give it 2 thumbs up for the inventory part.
How do you edit the inventory?
Not yet. I'll get to that. And then do you want to talk about the catalog view, Teresa, and how you're using this?
Yeah. So this is okay. So this is what I love about Datamiine, is that when I go, what I have been doing for my inventory in Williams, because that's basically on the shelves by inventory type, so store categories. My Christmas stuff is on one shelf, my Halloween stuff is on another, etc. And so when I would do a printout to do a physical inventory, and I have to do a printout because my inventory up there is in a metal building, there is 0 reception. And so I need to do a printout, and I'd done it before, and I just print out by stores and then sort by category, and hope everything's in the right place. And it's pages and pages, and the pictures print out too small. And so I was talking to Brooks and Wuchen, and there was this. We talked about having it so that you have this information, and the pictures are a little bigger, and so on and so forth. And this took a little work. It wasn't done overnight, but I love the layout. I love the fact that I think we can get 16 or 20 on a page, and the pictures are large enough that you can see it. And that's because my minions are up there, and they will be, you know, I know what the title is, and that this title matches that item. But when they see the picture, we are such a visual society. When they see the picture, they're going to go, oh, wait, this doesn't look like this. Oh, this one over here does. And so it'll help with that physical inventory. And I think that if it helps me, it'll help other people. And I have about 3,000 items that are in, maybe 2,500 items that are in listings that are in inventory in Williams. And so I'm hopeful to be able to knock this out in 2 days in August. So, and I'm going to use this and test it out, and super excited about it. And you know, just even making tweaks about we added the custom field on here. Maybe you don't have it sorted by custom field, but when I print mine out, it has the custom field on it so that I can put, which is where I use my item location.
Yeah,
and
right
so,
here is the custom field. That's
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Datamiine has a different, they use their custom field very differently than most of us do. But yeah, and it has the quantity, and it has the price, and it has the title. So I'm loving this a lot. So I appreciate them taking the time to make it, make that work out for me.
Yep.
Hey, Brooks, somebody was asking, and I'm assuming I know the answer to this, but somebody was asking if this is for US only. This is worldwide, right? It doesn't matter where you're located, correct?
Worldwide.
Okay. Yeah. So One Witch Lady, you're in Canada. You are good to go.
Sign up.
All right. So what else do you want to show us, Brooks?
All right. So I'm going to show you just a few more things. I'm going to show you eBay orders page. So this is tracking all your orders. And basically what this means to you is it saves the orders forever. And that means you don't have to go to PayPal and look at any kind of transaction data. So that's just one benefit of that. So that's the main feature there. Then we have our COGS, which I hope everyone loves.
Wait, Brooks, you need to go back and show people how you can track, because this is something that a lot of people want, how you can track your, find a buyer that has more than one sale.
Okay, so here is just very quick hyperlinks. I'll just kind of go through this pretty quickly. So any picture in Datamiine you see takes you directly to the listing itself. So very quickly.
That's awesome.
You can click on the product title here. That's the actual title within inside eBay. If you click on that, it will take you to the number of transactions that we sell replenishables. So we sell the same products over and over. So if you're in that space, this tool will be extremely helpful. Then has the buyer information here, which would be the buyer ID, and then the number beside it. So the number represents the number of transactions that person has done. So if you click on the 2 here, it will take you to all the transactions. So that's a very quick way in seeing how many repeat buyers you have.
So this is the way that you could track a repeat buyer. And like, I think within the first week, I always say I don't have repeat buyers because my stuff is just pretty much one up. But within the first week, and I never look at the names, I never look at the addresses that they're going to. Within the first week, I looked at this report and I went, oh, that was a repeat buyer. Like somebody bought something from me and 3 days later, they bought something else. I would have never known that had it not been for this feature. So it's another thing that I love.
And then another thing is it pulls in their information. And anytime their email address is bold, that probably means they're a business. So you can just click on their domain here, and it'll take you directly to their website. So if you're selling into enterprise companies, this is a very quick way of figuring out that information. So pretty neat information. All right. Any other questions, Teresa, on eBay orders page?
Nope. I think that's what that covers. I think people will find that very helpful.
Okay. Next feature is the COGS. This is the latest update that we did. So this is also an accounting tool. So we're trying not to be a listing tool, an accounting tool. We're trying to be that one-stop shop that does a little bit of everything. So from an accounting perspective, if you want to know how profitable you are at the individual item, it's very hard to do that in eBay. One, you have to have a Seller Pro account just to be able to put the COGS information in there. If you don't have a Seller Pro account, eBay does not give you the ability to do that at all. So with our tool, it just comes as a default at the lowest tier software level. So here you see that we've sold these items here, and you can edit and you can enter the cost of goods sold for that product and the shipping and handling. So right now we have very direct links in there to where you can just scroll down and it'll actually show you the actual shipping cost once it's shipped, and you can just copy and paste that into the order. Let's see here. Let me go back.
Now, let me just interrupt here for a second, because people are going to say, well, why won't it automatically fill, which we would like, but it's way too technical, but I believe it has to do with API, and there's a lot of information that eBay just doesn't make easily available for third-party sellers. So the fact that we have to click and then type it in there is because they can't make it automated because of an eBay wall or something like that. So I don't want people to think that they didn't think about doing that and make it automated, but I like that it's so easy to do, and it's just click right there and then go back and type it in. So just so people understand that.
Yeah, eBay only gives you so many limitations, how many times you can talk to them, to their servers. So that's a huge limitation on that part. But so with that said, there's two ways, and Teresa, your finance background, you can help me probably explain this better, but there's two ways of doing accounting. So if you want to know your individual P&L by product, this is definitely for those people that want to know that. You come in here and you put your cost of goods, you put your shipping, then your net profit will be calculated automatically for you. Let's say you don't want to do that. Let's say you go to Goodwill every single week and you pick up 50 things and you just want to do a lump sum transaction. Also, we also have an ability to do that. So you can go into your accounting tool here and say, on this date, I purchased something, so I put in my cost of goods at Goodwill. The amount is $50, and then you just save it, and then that automatically adds a journal entry and hits your P&L. Did I say that correctly from a financial accounting standpoint? Okay.
Yes. And so some of you like to, and I think it's important to manage your transaction at the micro level, each transaction, until you get a feel for it. As a budget and finance person, that's way too much tedious work for me. And I just do the lump sums at the end of the month. But I love the fact that Datamiine gives you both options. So you can do it whatever way you want.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think not everybody's going to use every aspect of this tool. So it's just a matter of seeing like which ones work for you and which ones you're going to be really super focused on. So I think there's a lot for everybody in there.
Yep. And one thing we realized when we were doing some beta testing with our customers, they were paying like 40-something bucks a month for QuickBooks. But QuickBooks is a overkill for just a one-person shop that sells on eBay or Poshmark. And keep in mind, this tool, the eBay transactions and cost and revenue will automatically be pulled in for you. You don't have to worry about any of that. But let's say you're selling out there on Poshmark and these other platforms. Well, you can just enter that revenue here. So now you have one-stop shop for all your accounting needs.
Very cool.
So
BTU Fly Boutique says, this is a dream come true. My heart is beating fast from excitement.
Okay, take a breath. Take a deep breath. Breathe in, breathe out.
There's more.
There's more. It's long time working on this.
Yeah. So yeah, Butterfly Boutique says, yes. Oh my gosh, cost of goods. I told you cost of goods was going to be big. Everybody wants cost of goods. This is the screenshot, by the way, everybody, that he posted in the Facebook group. And I just saw graphs and bar graphs and line graphs. And yeah, my heart was all aflutter over that. So it caught my eye.
I'm so glad I had that idea. I'm just like.
Hashtag mission accomplished.
Hashtag mission accomplished. Yeah, that was a good one. Had that one walking the dog, I think.
There you go.
So this is just kind of giving you information to something similar like the Seller Hub. So monthly revenue, if you have multiple accounts, it will aggregate everything into one. But what I want to show here is the reporting features. So if you, let me open up just a few tabs here. So we have the ability to assign inventory to certain people. So you could go to your inventory tab and say, hey, this virtual lister created these 10 listings. Or, hey, I do consignment. I got this consignment from this vendor. And then once that's assigned to them, once the items sell, you actually see the revenue that was generated from those sources. So let's say you pay your virtual lister post-sale. Well, now you have the ability to do that. Any type of profit sharing deal, eBay makes it really hard for you have to manually go do that on spreadsheets. This gives you the ability to automatically do it for you. So awesome. Pretty neat information. Then another big one, sales tax. So for all the people out there that are doing it monthly or quarterly and spending 30 minutes doing it in Excel, Sales tax now becomes one click. So you can just click on, you want to see revenue and search the state. When you register for the product, you tell it what state you're in, it automatically defaults to your state at the very top. So now this becomes one click. If you had any questions about the data, you can click on the number and it will show you all those transactions that made up that number.
Okay, so
yeah, and I think even if you're not like interested in the sales tax part of it, I love being able to see the breakdown by state of every, you know, where all my sales are at. And I think you also have that like worldwide as well, right? Where you can break it down by country.
Yeah.
And so just being able to see like all of that data is really awesome, because I don't think there's any simple way to get that directly on eBay. A lot of times you have to go to like PayPal and reports to be able to see any data about like where payments are coming from. So I think this is a great feature.
Yep. And what we do is it defaults to your state, so you can just quickly gravitate to that. But then the next filtering is off the biggest state. So you can see California, I ship 18.7% of our product there. Florida. So, and I think at the bottom we tally up and how many states you're in. So we've sold into pretty much all of them. That was a Teresa request.
I was going to say, you're welcome, because I didn't want to count. I was counting one day. I'm like, I don't have to count. I don't want to count this every time. But here's another thing is that when the Supreme Court, you know, you all know that I went to D.C. and we were lobbying against the sales tax and stuff. So when the Supreme Court came out that the whole thing with North Dakota, and so the first thing I did was I went in here and I went to see how many of my sales go to North Dakota, and I know that it's 200 transactions or $100,000, and I know that I haven't hit that. But like, how close am I? Like 0. I've shipped 0 to North Dakota since with all the data that's in here. So, that's a good feature. And from a finance person, what I really like is the ability to drill down. That's what we call it in finance world. Is when you have a total number and you click on it and you drill down and you see all the data behind that. I love how easy this one is. It's like, this is the way it should be. So kudos to you guys for making that happen the way it does.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So we have the same functionality by country. So that's what you were just talking about a second ago. You can see that 91.9% of our revenue is driven in the US, Canada 2.2%. The main way I use this is like, let's say I ship with the global program with eBay. Let's say I have a customs issue and it's in Switzerland. And I say, well, I just spent 6 hours on the phone with customs. I'm like, is it even worth me shipping into that crazy country? And I was like, well, my business mind says, how much revenue have I generated from it? And over here, it's $722. Well, that just lets me make a fast business decision on, do I keep selling there or do I stop? So that's happened quite a few times.
Yeah. And show how you can do it by the number of sales, because 700, you know, if that's made up of 150 transactions and you've only had one issue, that's another way to determine whether you should keep doing that or not.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was 5 transactions. So that's a good point. So if it was 1 transaction, I would probably just say no go. I'm not going to work in that country.
If it was 1 transaction for me, I'd say I'd roll the dice and see if it happens again.
Oh, yeah. But at least you got the data to
exactly. And that's
the key.
Yeah, having the data, and I always say information is power. And so if you have the information, then you can make these decisions, not just willy-nilly, not because somebody says, oh, you should ship to all countries, nothing should be blocked. You can pick it. You can decide for yourself whether you want to keep that country that you've just spent 5 hours on the phone with as a country you'll sell to or not.
Yep. Teresa, can you think of any more features you want me to show here? Or?
No, I mean, I like the percentages. We added the percentages based on my recommendation, simply because I like to be able to say, okay, so if 93% is going to the United States, then 7% is international sales. So he can easily see that 7% of his sales is international, which I think that's, you know, as a business owner, you need to know that data,
right,
and not just guess it.
And can you talk about like requests that when you put in requests like that, which I'm about to show the formal process of that, can you talk about typically the turnaround times for something like that?
Yeah, I mean, some things like this, like the whole counting thing. I know, I mean, in my next life, I'm going to be a computer programmer. I know a little bit about it. I don't know how to do it, but I kind of understand how databases and stuff work. So my thought process, why do I have to manually count how many states I'm shipping? So I knew something like that was a fairly easy one. Something like the catalog where the pictures, I had no idea if that was easy or complicated. And so, you know, when something gets turned around in a day, like or 8 hours, I'm totally blown away. A few days for something like that, I'm blown away. So yeah, the point is that they're not going, oh yeah, well, let's see what happens and we'll talk about it at our next meeting and maybe will happen. Like these things are happening very fast and very quick, which I love and appreciate. And the other thing too is that, and I talk about this all the time, when I have an idea or a suggestion, and this is where I'm liking, this is where eBay has to be different. So I submit all kinds of ideas and suggestions to eBay, but I'm a one type of seller, and eBay is a very complicated platform with lots of puzzle pieces that integrate together. And so they have to think about all the different kinds of sellers. And so this is great because Datamiine isn't looking at the mega sellers or the little tiny sellers. I mean, some of this stuff could be an issue for a different type of seller, but it's like, hey, you guys want that? Yeah, that seems reasonable. And then I always say what I'm trying to do and what I want to accomplish. And then sometimes I'll say, you know, I don't know if it's worth the effort because I don't know how much effort it is. And so they have to decide with the developer, okay, this is a 3-week project. And we'll get this much return out of it. It's probably not worth it. And I'm okay with that because I have no idea what it takes. And, you know, they have to make the determination based on what their hours and their input is as to what the returns are going to be. So keep that in mind if you're in the beta program and you make suggestions that it's good to give them an idea of what you were doing and what you were trying to, what information you were trying to get that you thought would be better if it was automated. And, you know, some things will turn around really quickly and some will take a couple of days and some will take a week or two.
Yep.
But in programming world, a week or two is nothing. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. I really want to like put emphasis on, you know, we take your suggestions and give you complete transparency into what we're working on. So this is one, I've never seen a software product that does that and opens up the back door of what they're working on. But this is just a formal process of the form where you say, hey, I have this new idea, and this is only available, this link, for people who are actively in beta right now. And you just fill this thing out. So what's your idea help with? Is it analytics, processing an order? Submit that. And then once you become part of beta, we actually give you access to our backlog. So you can actually see all the ideas coming in from people and where we're going to be working on it next. So this is what I think is pretty cool. You should see, you know, Teresa had this idea coming on 5/29. This is the COGS thing that we're working on. So this is what I'm hoping people share this story out there and really say, hey, this company, there are sellers, but they're also trying to help other sellers out there. And hopefully it takes off pretty big.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are super shocked to see that Teresa has lots of ideas. But seriously, okay, anybody who like in any way, you know, feels like they don't have as much control over things, especially when it comes to eBay, and you wish that you could have the tools that you want, I'm telling you, like being a part of the beta for this is huge because as you can see, it's like you get to directly communicate with the developers. You get to put your ideas out there. You get to see how they come around. This is like your opportunity to be a part of it on an almost like grassroots level where everything that you say, all your suggestions are going to be considered. And if they're doable, they'll do it. I mean, yeah, there's going to be times where it's just something that's just impossible because they aren't able to get certain information from eBay. But I think it's super exciting.
Yes, we love your feedback. That's the main thing. I mean, we can just develop what we want, but once this starts getting, you know, multiple requests every day, then we're going to have to take that data and put it into more of a driven manner of sending out a survey saying, hey, these requests came in. What do you guys feel about it? And then that's the way we just make better decisions off more information coming in.
Yeah, you have to start prioritizing.
Exactly. But you're going to be like, hey, I put that request in a week ago, and now they're actually acting on it. And, you know, that's kind of what I want to get from the consumer to us.
So when you showed this screen, I was trying to figure out what I was so wordy about in that first lineup there. And so this is what I love about a smaller third-party app versus eBay is that was about being able to make a listing active or inactive. That is something that is probably so unique to me that eBay, I mean, I think there could be other other users other ways to use that feature. But for me, it's like, and I talked about this, when like I'm going to be gone for 2.5 weeks and I don't want to have to put my entire store on vacation mode when I have my minion in Williams that can still ship, 3/4 of my inventory. And so they were working on that. And I actually think I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to try to, we have some issues with the quantity, delisting and relisting with the quantities, but I think I'm going to try to do it. Maybe not on all things, because I do have somebody that will come and ship for me in Gilbert, but I think I'm going to, there's all of my American Girl stuff is in the house. And so I think I'm going to turn off all of those listings based on that feature and just kind of play with it. And my American Girl stuff isn't, so I've got less than 200 items. So if it messes up, I'm not going to be that upset. I can fix it. So that's a good example where we're not really sure if that's going to help a lot of people. Somewhere I have notes where all the different things, ways that I thought that would help other sellers. But right now, I mean, it's pretty much a unique situation for me. Like, why would you want to make a list? The only other thing I could think of right off the top of my head is if you can't locate something, then you would like make it deactivate it, keep the listing active so that when you're like me unloading a box of fabric last week and you find this purse and you're like I would have never found, I mean, if I sold that purse, I would have just happened to take a ding because there's no way I would have known it was in a box of fabric that's been packed away for 2 years. Like, I have no idea how it got there. So being able to do that kind of stuff is something that I think would be able to help sellers.
Yeah, and if anyone that was listening to that thinks that's a great idea, please comment in this below, because what we could do, and the whole thing when we're going to eBay Open, I'm like, I don't want to put my store on vacation mode and probably get pushed into search engines. We could easily go in there to where you could drill down to whatever inventory you wanted, basically turn that inventory to 0, and then it puts that inventory you turned into 0 to a separate queue. And then that way, when you get back, you just put activate and it will revert back to the original quantities. So that way you're not selling the product, but you're not having to end it. You're not having to put it on vacation mode. So that could be done.
Yeah. And I mean, I had my store on vacation mode for a lot of summer last year, and I was, kind of slacking on my business side of stuff. And it has taken me a long time. I'm still not back up to where I was before I moved in June. But I think that if you keep your store on vacation, it does have some kind of impact in search. I'm just trying to figure this out, so I have no strong data about that. But if we can keep our stores active, I think it's much better in the long run.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Brooks, you want to turn off your screen share so that we can see your face again?
Are you sure about that?
So we've had a couple of people in the chat bring up how user friendly is it? It looks like it could be overwhelming. So, I mean, you can answer that. But first, I would say to anybody who has concerns about that, I mean, this is totally a great opportunity to join the beta, because you can check it out yourself and give feedback on, like, to let Brooks know, let them know that, hey, this is I don't understand. This is confusing. Because that's, I'm sure, part of what you guys are going to want to do in developing this is to make sure it is as user-friendly as possible so people are able to navigate it.
Right. Yeah, right now what we're starting to work on is a lot of documentation out there. So a good document could be like, how do I promote things that aren't moving on inventory? So it could just be step-by-step process. But another great thing is once you become beta, then I'll request access so you have the Facebook for the beta users. And we have someone manning that queue about 12 hours a day. So we're very fast to reply. And even the beta users saying, hey, this is how I use the product. So we're very fortunate enough that, our own sellers out there are being kind of like our mini support people saying, this is what we do. So very thankful for that.
Very cool. All right. Well, so you've shown some of the features that you currently have within the program. Let's talk a little bit about like some of the exciting features that are coming up, like stuff that you're working on right now that aren't quite ready. I know, actually, I'll go ahead and start because you already mentioned one of them, and that was the being able to automatically end items and then relist them. And so for me, this is really exciting for me because, we talk about doing sell similar or doing good till cancel or 30-day listings. And so, for instance, Victoria has hers on just 30-day listings. So every 30 days, she has to go in and manually do sell similar. I personally, I used to be all about the Li-Fi, list it and forget it. I do good till canceled, leave it. It'd be up for a year and a half. And I don't want to do it quite like that anymore because I'm realizing that I don't really want stuff up for more than a few months, but I still want to use good till canceled. So basically the way this is going to work great for me is I can still do, it's almost like a mini Li-Fi where it's like I list it and forget it for 3 months anyway. And then after 3 months, I want to be able to end them and do sell similar. But what you guys are working on and what's going to be we're going to be able to do soon is basically I'd be able to set it up so that all of my listings, I list it in like, let's say day 89, because I don't want it to hit 90 days because then it'll start a new listing automatically. If it's doing good till canceled. So I like day 89, I want to make it end all those listings and then automatically do sell similar and relist them. So it's a fresh new listing. So it's almost like I still get to do the list it and forget it because I don't have to touch it. But as far as eBay knows, I'm ending it every 90 days and restarting. So, I mean, I'm really excited about that. That's like my favorite upcoming thing. What about you, Teresa?
Yeah, as somebody that is, I still have about 1,000 listings to end and relist. Yeah, I'm very excited about that part of it. And, I'm still doing 25 in the morning, 25 at night. My goal was to get them all done before I had my store review at eBay open so that I could get a gold star. And then I finally just said, I don't care about a gold star. I'll get them done when this feature is done because I'm over listing and relisting. So, yeah, no, that's going to be an awesome feature. And I've been the list it and forget it person as well. And I'm now doing, going to do the 90-day thing. And then the other thing I like with the first screen that he showed with the data about how old your listings are is that I'm probably going to keep my still promoting my every listing in my store at a probably 5% promoted listing rate. And then as they hit 30 and 60 days, then I may go trending. Then I may go trending plus 1% or something like that. So that the idea is, and as a finance person, I remember when I was over a receivables department, like my goal is going to get that number that's 180 plus as low as I possibly can. And so for me, that'll be the game. And how do I get there? Maybe, as we go on, we'll figure it out. Maybe at 30 days, I need to start doing trending rates. Maybe I need to do trending plus 3. Like, what's going to help me sell these items faster and have a much better sell-through rate? So I'm looking forward to that little graph. And, I play little games with myself that way and set goals. And I think that once people start to use it and understand it, I think that a lot of people will end up using that chart a lot.
Yeah, delisting and relisting is just one action you can take from old inventory. So another thing that you could potentially program in there if we do this in the development is saying, hey, instead of delisting and relisting, how about you put this on a active promo at 10% and a promoted listing at 5%? And then it just automatically does that. And then what's the best part about it is how do you track that, the success of that? So you're saying, this month I had a 33% success rate. I generated $2,000 worth of revenue on stuff that hasn't sold in, half a year. So that's just an enormous ROI immediately that you can get from it. So that's just kind of where that one feature could go if we had the right feedback here. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this, Brooks. I don't know. I haven't been on top of this as much as Teresa has. I let her take care of all this kind of stuff. But what has been going on with the possibility of making it kind of like a back office where you give limited access to other people? If you, let's say, have a virtual assistant, or if you even have somebody who comes over to your house and lists stuff for you or does it at their own home. I know, Teresa, you have somebody who comes sometimes and takes like a bunch of stuff away and they do all the photos and they list it for you. And so the issue with eBay is that you have to give them complete access to your eBay account, including your PayPal, email, all this stuff. And you have to really trust that they're not going to do anything bad. So I know one of the things we had talked about is the potential for giving limited access to other people.
Yeah, so the multi-user access is actually already developed right now. But that's the only piece of it. So the next piece of development would be creating listings off of that, limiting access to where they can only create a listing. They can't mess with your PayPal account, things like that. So that's definitely in the works. After eBay Open next week, we're going to sit down, especially after the think tank, and we're going to look at our Q3, Q4 initiatives on where we want to take the product into the end of the year.
Very cool. So yeah, so for any of you guys who have been thinking about like hiring a virtual assistant or hiring any kind of assistant come in and help you with your listings, I think this is huge because this is one of those things that you can't do with eBay. For some reason, they've never developed that in their system. So it's really cool. And so Brooks just mentioned eBay Open. They are going to be at eBay Open. And if you guys are in the Boss Facebook group, there's actually an event that's been created. It's like the Boss Think Tank, and that's what this is all about.
Not
so
the Boss. Not the Boss
that?
Facebook group, not the Facebook group, the Boss Goes to eBay group.
Oh, it's in that group? Okay, so it's in the Boss Goes to eBay. Yeah, so if you're in the Boss Facebook group, you need to also join the group for Open, and the event's in there. So you want to make sure.
If you're going to open.
If you're going to open, yes.
Otherwise, you're going to have FOMO because this is how much fun we're having, and you're going to be bummed that you're not there.
Yes. So that Tuesday night hangout, that's at 6 o'clock, right? That's when we're going to be talking about this stuff.
Yep.
And so what are you hoping, Brooks, is going to happen that Tuesday night? What are we going to be doing?
So we're going to be talking about, I constantly want to know sellers' pain points. So I kind of want to open it up into like, what do people sell out there? And then we just start talking about the biggest pain points within eBay. And then once people start talking about that, I think that's just going to drive action on, what we can do. So I really want the people to know that, we're listening to them. And then because all those conversations are going to be what really bases our decisions off what we develop for the next 4 or 5 months.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And so then let's also talk about the future of Datamiine. What, people can join right now. They can sign up. They can request to sign up to join the beta. And so that link's down below in the description of this video. So go ahead and do that, you guys, if you're interested. And so for right now, as far as beta goes, like it's free. There's no cost. Obviously, people are helping you guys to develop this. But what's going to happen in the future with this? Like once you get done with beta, or what's the timeline, and where's it going to go?
So 100% not sure on when we're going to flip from beta to real. So that's big discussions happening there behind the scenes. But we're looking at Q4. Could be into Q4 or middle of Q4. I'm not quite sure about that. But once you sign up for beta or the hyperlink above, or you could email us at datamine@gmail.com. I will then reach out to you and have you download the product, and then I will give you probably like a 30 to 45 minute deep dive into how to use the product. And then that's when I'll grant you access to the Facebook group that's specific to only people in beta. And we're being very hands-on with our beta people right now. So I want to make sure that they understand how to use every feature. And then so that's kind of the outlook there. And then as far as the future of the product, imagine a tool that did all your accounting for you. Imagine a tool that every month gave you your P&L, gave you your sales tax, gave you a report for if you use virtual listers, you need to pay out this person X%. The ability to use specialized virtual assistants. So you as a seller could really focus on whatever you want, like what you are good at. So you could really, if you used eBay to do your drop shipping for you and you use this platform, all you as a seller had to do was go buy and source and take photos. All the other work will be done. All the stuff that for looking at your listings and making sure that they're staying on top of the search engines, we're doing all that behind the scenes for you. So as a seller out there that's managing thousands of things, that will probably relieve hours every day off of them.
Okay, and so I'm sure a lot of people are really concerned about the cost, and I know that you don't know that yet. No. But I'm assuming that you're going to be taking into account that there are, sellers are all different levels. There's a lot of small sellers out there that aren't going to be able to take on, a huge cost or anything like that. Are you thinking about doing different levels, different accesses? Like what's kind of the thought process there?
So maximum probably 3 levels. Right now we have 2 levels determined. So all the stuff that you pretty much saw today, the cogs, the reporting features, that's the lowest level. You get all that. From a price standpoint, we're thinking about in the 30 range. So, but I mean, if that takes care of all your accounting, all the data, I hope that, I think that's definitely worth it. So the goal is not to have to pay, QuickBooks or GoDaddy for your accounting, MailChimp for that. We're going to be all in one tool that does everything for you.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think the accounting software, most accounting software costs at least $10, if not more, a month. And somebody commented saying, yeah, Diana said something about this would replace InkFrog. So yeah, it seems like it would do all of the things that InkFrog's capable of doing, but even more.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know. I don't do InkFrog, so I have no idea what the cost of InkFrog is. Yeah, InkFrog is around 20 to 30 a month. And so, yeah, Datamiine definitely does a lot more than InkFrog. So to me, it's all about like, if you can get it all in one product, like that's so much better.
Yep. Yeah, a few of our beta users are in InkFrog, and like Christine, she had a big problem with them around, I think when you do a listing in InkFrog, it embeds a code inside that listing. So if you want to migrate off of them, anytime that you have a problem with, let's say, that item and you call eBay and they look and they see that's stamped by InkFrog, they're going to say, oh, we didn't create this listing. It's on InkFrog. So there's a lot of finger pointing. So we're not going to be doing any of that embedding in there when we're doing that stuff. So we also have people that want to get off InkFrog and they want to say, hey, I have 3,000 listings. How do I do that without manually having to do that? We can automate that for you. So we just did that with Christina 2 weeks ago. So there is a cost from eBay to do that. Like take 25 cents per listing, but if it can happen overnight, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think bottom line, it's like, you know, the beta testing part is of course free, and like you said, you're not even sure like when exactly that's going to stop. It's probably going to be at least like 3 months, right?
Yeah.
And so all of you guys out there, if you're interested in this at all, and this looks like something you might want to try out, definitely join the beta, because you're going to have at least a few months where you're going to be able to try it all out. And maybe it's not going to work for you for whatever reason, but if it does work for you and you're able to see how it's going to improve your business and how much it helps you and frees up a lot of your time, then when it comes to the point where it is, let's say, $30 a month, then it's going to make sense for you to take on that cost, and you're going to want to do it. And you're going to get to be in on the ground level of helping to develop it. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you're going to be a beta tester, then I would strongly encourage you to be a beta tester and use it. And then if something doesn't work for you, give them suggestions and feedback, because that's why these developers open these things up for beta testers, not just so you can have the product and use it for free. They seriously want your feedback. And I'm one of those people. I fill out surveys. I feel like I want my voice to be heard. I have ideas. I have suggestions. So even if you think it's a little suggestion, like they're the only ones that are going to know. What if you think it's a little suggestion, but 7 other people thought the same thing? Then that's like, if there's a group of 20, that's significant. They would want to look into that. So just really think about that. And if something is not intuitive to you, then let them know, because if it's not intuitive to you, the chances are it's not intuitive to somebody else. So I really want to encourage you that, you know, this is great. I see a lot of comments in the chat. Everybody's loving it. That's fabulous. But I put a lot of time and effort into this the first couple of weeks, not so much since the last release, which I was most excited about, just because my week this week is crazy with open. But I am going to spend some more time on it on Saturday, like really going through and playing with my inventory and seeing what this latest release has done, and you know, giving more feedback on that. And then as I am able to manipulate data and do what I need to do, then it's like, then other ideas pop into my head. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? So we all have a list of things. You know, cost of goods was definitely on my list, and the inventory management at the top of the list for years. And now that I'm doing this stuff and I'm more involved with it, then other ideas pop in my head. So don't just take your first off suggestions and then be done with it. Keep working at it. And as the beta group gets bigger and they have more ideas and more things implemented, then you can start brainstorming and bouncing other, oh, I love that. But hey, what about, oh, now that you can do that, what about this? So really use this do this with that in mind, and, you know, give them the feedback that they're looking for.
Well, and what's really cool is that Brooks actually has a Facebook group for the people who are in beta. And so everybody who joins beta now, it's like you're going to get a level of hand-holding that you would never get with a new product. You know, like Brooks said, you know, when you do get brought into the beta program, you're going to get, I don't know if you're going to do this as with groups, Brooks, or if you're going to do one-on-one like you did with Teresa and myself. But you're going to get like an in-depth review of exactly, you know, how to use the product. And then you get to be in that Facebook group. And so you're getting to be in the small community of all these people that are kind of at the same level as you and all trying to figure it out. And you're not going to get that down. I mean, 2 years down the road, when this is just a professional product that people can use, I mean, I'm sure you guys will have great customer service, but you're not going to be able to keep it at this level. And so this is like a really unique opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so we do have a Facebook group for the beta people, which you have to grant access to, and then we also have just an open Facebook group if you just type in Datamiine, and that's with 2 I's, and that's where we can have a much larger audience that we can poll questions to. So please go to Facebook and type that in, and just to get into that group, and that'd be good.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead. I'll add the link to the boss Facebook group for people going to open. I'll add that down here. And then once you're in that, the only requirement is that you have to be in the boss Facebook group to be accepted into that group. And then you can check out the event for that.
I want proof of registration. I want to know when they're coming in. No, I'm just kidding.
And we need to see your social security card.
No, if you really have FOMO and you want to join the Facebook group for going to Vegas, even if you're not going to go, I don't care. I mean, I was joking about that, but that's where we're going to communicate with each other about, hey, this is where we don't know where this meeting, this think tank meeting is going to be on Tuesday. That's something that Brooks needs to work out with Mandalay Bay. And because we're going to be in a space that eBay's already rented, it's kind of like we may just end up having to do a pop-up someplace. So that will definitely be announced in the Facebook group when they figure it out. And so you want to make sure that you're in that group if you want to be part of the think tank Tuesday at 6.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
I guess you're just more committed to this, Teresa.
Oh, I am so committed to this. You have no idea. I'm kind of bummed because this week has been so crazy that I haven't been able to sit down. Like I signed on, I think late last night, and then I got sidetracked, and again this morning, and it's like, it's okay. Everything has a time and a place, and I know that I'll get to it by Saturday if I don't get to it before then.
Yeah. Hey, Brooks, I don't know if you have a YouTube channel or anything right now, but you should think about starting to make some videos kind of showing like little, how-tos on the different features. Yep. Because I know that this is, looking at this as a whole, it's totally overwhelming. And anyone that's like worked in the corporate world and you're using like a CRM tool, it's like when you first start with it, you're like, there's just so much stuff you can do. And so maybe like breaking it up into little, 7-minute videos, whatever, where it's like just focusing on, searching customers or just focusing on inventory. I think that a lot of people would find that super helpful.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. And that's
that's a good idea.
And we'll probably post that in the beta group as well for all those videos. So everyone that's in the beta group can see all the how-tos. Eventually that will be brought into the product itself. So,
and awesome. The key for that is to make sure that you label your videos as to this is a how-to on XYZ.
Yeah.
Because once you get a lot, then we're going to want to be able to search and find what we're looking for and just see it on YouTube.
Yep, I agree. Thank you for that recommendation.
All right. I'm just trying to get everybody on YouTube. Teresa, when are you starting?
Hey, I did a video last September for my, last December for my first Airbnb. I think I have 25 subscribers. I'm on my way.
That's good.
Watch out, Katie. I'm coming after you.
Uh-oh. I think there's room for all of us.
YouTube is not my thing. I mean, I can be a guest. I don't want to run a channel, but
yeah,
I love
we'll
it.
Say out there for all the sellers that really believe in what we're working on, please share this video as much as you can. Facebook groups out there. There's so many people that, would, I think, do a good service for this product. So please share if you believe in the story. And then, we definitely want to help. But
yeah, absolutely. We'll get it out there.
Yep.
I believe.
And we had a lot of fainting going on and lightheadedness happening in the chat. So I think people are super excited. They might have to go back and rewatch to see what they missed while they were passed out. But I think it went well. Oh, and also you can't see it, but I got to show off. I got my boss up shirt. Check it out, guys. Check it out.
Awesome.
I got my Katie boss up. I'll be wearing that at eBay Open next week, along with I don't know how many other T-shirts that we're going to be required to wear at different times. But
I know I'm kind of bummed
on Monday. The shirt.
What's that?
We order the T-shirts on Monday. This Monday.
All right, cool.
Our boss shirts.
I'm kind of bummed. Well, I'm not bummed. Because I'm speaking. It turns out I'm speaking at every other session, so I have to wear my eBay shirt while I'm speaking. And I was thinking, okay, I'll speak, in the morning, and I'll change my shirt. Yeah, that's not happening. But that's all right. There's plenty of other times when I could wear it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have several. I have my own T-shirt, but I can't do that. So
Can't even wear that.
I can't even wear my own, but that's all right. I'll wear the Datamiine with pride.
That's
there
perfect.
you go.
Thank you.
All right, Brooks, Michaela, thank you so much for coming and doing the show with us. It was really exciting to be able to debut this on my channel and during Boss Up and List live show. So thank you. Thanks a lot. And Teresa, thank you for coming and doing the show with us as well. You're our hype lady. So anyway, so it is Boss Up and List Day. So you guys get back to listing, and I will add some more links down into the description below. But if you have signed up for the beta, or if you haven't yet, go ahead because it is down below. Brooks will be getting in touch with you soon. So any other questions that you have, you can direct to him when he gets in touch with you. But I think this is super, super exciting. And please, if you're not subscribed to my channel, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell right next to the subscribe button to make sure you're getting notified when new content comes out and when the show goes live. And please give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And like Brooks was saying, if you could go ahead and share this video with any other sellers that you think might be interested or any other groups that you're in, that would be super awesome as well, because I think this is a great opportunity for all of us as sellers to kind of jump into this at the ground level and get to be a part of something that could be really big. So thanks again, guys. And
wait, one more thing.
Yes, go ahead.
If you don't like the video, but you really like my red microphone, hit the thumbs up.
All right. Thanks, guys. All right, get back to work. Boss up.
Thank you.